At 12, the news at 5:30 starts right now.
We begin with a 13-year-old in critical condition at the hospital after being shot in the head on the city's south side.
Lee Waldman is live at the scene this evening at Rayburn and Commercial Avenue. Lee, police telling you this was an accidental shooting.
An accidental shooting by a family member who ran from the Reynoso apartments after that shooting. Now you can see behind me still a fairly active scene, as we can see several officers with San Antonio police here. They tell me there is a helicopter up and looking for that family member right now. Now this call came in around 3 o'clock this afternoon. We don't know the relationship between the teenage boy who was shot and the family member who police say accidentally pulled the trigger, just that they were older than the teen. An officer with SAPD says they're trying to find that person and piece together what led up to the shooting. He called this an unfortunate incident and said it's important that guns are secured.
If you own a firearm, secure it. Even as a gun owner, you can face charges not locking up your firearm if a juvenile ends up using it. In an accidental shooting, there is still consequences with that.
Guzman didn't talk about any possible charges that family member could be facing as a result of this shooting. He says it's still very early in SAPD's investigation. Live on the south side, Lee Waldman, KSAT 12 News.
Lee, thank you. Unfortunately, 2 other shootings early this morning to report. They both proved deadly, and now police are working to identify the shooters involved. The first one happened in the 200 block of Randall Avenue, close to San Fernando Street, around 2:15 this morning. Police say a husband and wife pulled up to their grandparents' home. At the same time, another vehicle pulled up. We're told the suspects got out and started shooting into the victim's vehicle. The 31-year-old husband was shot several times and died at the scene. The 32-year-old wife, also hit, was rushed to the hospital. Her current condition is unknown right now. So far, police say they have no suspects and the investigation continues.
Meanwhile, a drive-by on the northeast side took the life of another man. It happened in the 4800 block of Castle Guard near Mid-Crown Drive about 12:30 this morning. Police say when they got to the home, 2 people had been shot. One was already dead. The other person taken to the hospital. So far, no arrests have been made in this case. Police are still looking for the suspects as well as a motive. We are only a couple of days into our first fall chill, and people seem to be handling things pretty well.
Yeah, I think so, considering it came on quickly instead of that gradual temperature drop that we usually have. But something else is being added to the mix. Sarah, that's rain.
Yeah, we are going to have some light rain early tomorrow morning and some drizzle for the morning commute. But yes, our first real deal cold front moved through Friday, and you can see that this morning some areas even dealt with their first freeze. Bulverde, Bernie, Rio Medina, parts of extreme northern Bexar County, Comfort, Kerrville, Bandera. We were just above freezing here in San Antonio. This is the coldest we have been in San Antonio since March 13th. That's 245 days. Now tonight we are not anticipating a freeze. It's 58 degrees out there right now, and temperatures will be falling to near 50 by midnight. You'll notice clouds increasing. Those clouds increasing ahead of our light rain and drizzle overnight and into the early morning hours tomorrow. That's going to be followed by another cold front, keeping us chilly in the week ahead. I've got everything you need to know for the week ahead coming up in a few minutes. Courtney.
Thank you, Sarah. We'll see you in a bit. Back here in Texas, the investigation is underway into an air show disaster just outside of Dallas. 2 historic planes colliding and crashing to the ground.
Yeah, debris from the accident shutting down a nearby highway for most of the day yesterday. Authorities say 6 people on those 2 aircraft died in the crash. Fortunately, no one on the ground was injured. ABC's Matt Rivers now with the latest.
Authorities say 6 people died when 2 vintage military airplanes collided in midair during the Wings Over Dallas air show Saturday afternoon.
We had an air collision. It's down on the airport. 660, there is also some down on the service road of 67 southbound.
Spectators captured the crash between the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress and a Bell P-63 King Cobra.
The maneuvers that they were going through were not dynamic at all. It was what we call bombers on parade.
The FAA, along with the National Transportation Safety Board, are investigating what caused the 2 planes to collide.
One of the things we would probably most likely be trying to determine is why those aircraft were at co-altitude in the same airspace at the same time.
The air show was scheduled to coincide with the Veterans Day holiday and is organized by the Commemorative Air Force and the Education Association, focused on American military aviation.
This is a World War II flight demonstration type air show where we highlight the aircraft and their capabilities and what actually happened in World War II. It's very patriotic.
This was the 7th year this event had been held in Dallas without any problems until Saturday.
There are literally hundreds of air shows every year around the United States, and very seldom does anything tragic happen. But there is a heightened possibility when you have a lot of airplanes flying in close proximity.
Organizers estimate there were between 4,000 and 6,000 people on the ground in the area when the collision occurred, but say no bystanders were injured. Matt Rivers, ABC News, New York.
Back here at home right now, the search continues for a man who was last seen more than 2 weeks ago downtown. Police asking for your help tonight finding him. He is 74-year-old Michael Cleed. He is 5 feet 5 inches tall and weighs about 220 pounds. He has blue eyes and wears glasses. Detectives say he has a medical condition that needs a doctor's attention. If you have any information that can help police locate them, call SAPD's Missing Persons Unit. Their number 210-207-7660. Still ahead of the news at 5:30, San Antonio will join other cities around the globe and observe World Diabetes Day. Find out how the Alamo City will mark the day and how plans could help you kickstart your way to better health. Do you know if you are at risk for developing diabetes? The number of people being diagnosed with the disease is on the rise, especially among children. And the key to prevention and properly living with the disease is awareness. Tomorrow is World Diabetes Day. University Health and the San Antonio Food Bank are teaming up to host a free health fair. It'll be at the Texas Diabetes Institute on South Zarzamora near San Fernando Street from 9 a.m. until 11 a.m. Several diabetes education sessions are being offered, as well as free glucose screenings. The San Antonio Food Bank will be giving out fresh produce. Plus, there will be prizes and giveaways. For all the details, just head over to KSAT.com and click on KSAT Community.
Well, the wait is almost over. The outdoor ice rink is coming back to Travis Park this holiday season, bigger and better than ever. The Rotary Ice Rink, presented by Valero, will open on November 18th and will be 5,000 square feet. And this year, even better, KSAT is the media sponsor. If you want to skate, keep this in mind. You have to buy your tickets in advance online so you can reserve what time you want to get out on the ice. Just pick a time from the list of skating hours and then buy your tickets. For more information about hours of operation and admission, visit KSAT.com.
Normally there'd be a joke in there about ice skating in San Antonio because it's always so hot here, but not this weekend. We've had the real deal, Sarah.
We are chilly out there. You know, this morning there was even some ice in parts of the hill country when it comes to, bird baths and things like that. They had a little bit of ice because of some freezes out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the almanac for the day today. We got up to 60 degrees for the high. Now our low this morning was 38. Now, as we take a look across areas around San Antonio, the weather setup, we are going to see a front move through tomorrow, and it is going to be bringing us some colder weather. I'll have the latest coming up after this.
Last Sunday I was complaining because I was sweating on my Sunday morning
Yes.
walk in the park. Today I didn't wear enough clothes. It was cold.
You just can't get it right, can you?
There's no happy medium.
I
matter
bundled
what.
correctly today. I was very proud of myself.
Good.
Layered
Well,
up.
And I bet you by the end of this week, some people may be a little sick of the cooler weather, guys, because,
this guy.
yeah, kudos. I think I'll be fine too, but it is going to be a chilly week ahead for us because of two cold fronts on the way. Let's take a look at the high temperature. 60 degrees today, 12 degrees below the average. This morning's low was 38. Again, that's the coldest we've been since March 13th in San Antonio. And across the state of Texas right now, it is fairly quiet. We do have some cirrus clouds streaming in from the west and some lower level clouds streaming in from the south as well. As we take a look at our weather setup across the nation, there's our exiting front, but right behind it is another front that is going to be moving through here tomorrow night. But before that happens, we've got a little bit of rain in the mix early tomorrow morning. morning. This is nuisancey rain that is not going to be bringing us a lot when it comes to helping us out as far as the drought is concerned. However, it is going to make things a little bit damp for the morning commute, and you can see just how cold that air is up north around areas in the Dakotas. So let's take you through the futurecast. We've got that front going to be approaching in from West Texas, but early tomorrow morning, notice that we'll start to see some light rain around San Antonio, even some snow for parts of the Panhandle. And then early tomorrow morning, this is a snapshot at 7 o'clock, some light rain around San Antonio. Notice that it's going to come together a little bit better the further east you go of San Antonio, the further east of I-35. 8 o'clock in the morning, some drizzle, some light rain possible. And then by about mid-morning, we should see most of that rain east of San Antonio. Get heavier rainfall possible for parts of Lavaca County, Victoria, and out toward Houston. By around noon, it's still going to be fairly cloudy in San Antonio, but we are going to see plenty of sunshine out west toward Del Rio before we see the sun in San Antonio. And then in the afternoon, we'll see gradual clearing, and temperatures are going to be climbing into the low 60s early tomorrow morning. Then tomorrow afternoon, rather. Then that front is going to be moving through, and we'll see wind gusts of up to about 40 miles per hour Monday night into Tuesday. So we'll be looking at windy conditions too. Again, this is not going to be a drought denter by any means. Maybe a couple hundredths of an inch of rain around San Antonio to up to about 1/10 to 2/10 the further east you go. And unfortunately, Del Rio, Eagle Pass, Rock Springs, no rain for you on Monday. The areas that will see the most rain are out near Galveston, out across parts of East Texas as well. So in your KSAT 12-hour forecast, some light rain and drizzle early in the morning. It's going to be chilly. Temperatures will be near 50 degrees early tomorrow morning, and there's going to be some dampness out there too. So bring the heavier coat with you and pack a little patience if you're planning on getting your morning commute going. By about noon, that's when we'll start to see the skies clear, and in the afternoon, 60 degrees for the high temperature. So another chilly day, a lot like today for us. Mostly clear skies in the evening hours. So early tomorrow morning, no freezes for us like what we saw this morning in parts of northern Bexar County in the Hill Country. It'll be in the low 40s and mid 40s around San Antonio. But again, pretty damp out there. 46 in Del Rio, 43 in Uvalde, 48 in San Antonio. And tomorrow in the afternoon, 60 degrees in San Antonio for the high temperature. Notice that there's going to be a big temperature difference across south central Texas. We'll be looking at temperatures still in the 50s for areas like New Braunfels and Gonzales because it'll stay cloudier for longer, while plenty of sun out west will be bringing temperatures out into the 70s. Even for Uvalde, it'll be near 70 degrees. 58 in New Braunfels, 58 in Seguin, 60 here in San Antonio. Then windy behind that front Monday night into Tuesday, gusts up to 40 miles per hour. In the week ahead, look at that, feeling a lot like January. Chilly mornings in the 30s, afternoons in the 50s, and then yet another front anticipated at some point on Friday and Saturday, keeping temperatures nice and cool for the weekend, next weekend too. Just not a ton of rain in the forecast, guys.
That would be the only thing we would complain about. But other than that, we got no complaints, right, Tim?
I got no complaints. I'm mixing it chilly this week. Thank you, Sarah. All right, Andrew, San Antonio hosting some championship soccer tonight.
That's right. The first time since 2014 that there's a league title. It will be played at Toyota Field, and San Antonio FC is facing one of the best teams in USL history. When we come back, we'll talk about the matchup and get you hyped up for tonight's big game. Plus, UTSA's running game helped key a huge blowout victory over Louisiana Tech yesterday. Got that too next. It is officially game day, and for the first time in franchise history, San Antonio FC will host the USL Championship Final, and their opponent knows this stage all too well. Louisville City FC went to the championship match 3 straight years from 2017 to 2019, and they won back-to-back titles in their first 2 appearances. This season, Louisville won their first-round matchup on penalty kicks, then defeated Tampa Bay Rowdies 1-0 in the Eastern Conference Final. Meanwhile, San Antonio has yet to concede a goal in these playoffs, defeating Oakland Roots 3-0 in the semifinals and Colorado Springs 2-0 in the Western Conference Final last Saturday. But they know Louisville is going to be a different beast.
Their data is incredibly impressive. I believe it's 8 finals, 2 championships. I probably don't need to elaborate much more than that. Incredibly good team, incredibly good organization, very well organized. You can tell it's a team that's been together for quite some time, and then I understand there's some pieces added each year, but there's never a big overhaul, and it's clear in the way they play. At the same time, like every team has their strengths and every team has their weaknesses, and the plan is to exploit the weaknesses with the intent of hopefully winning the game.
Now, the last time a professional soccer team brought a league title to San Antonio was nearly 8 years ago to the day on November 15th, 2014, when the Scorpions and the now defunct North American Soccer League defeated the Fort Lauderdale Strikers 2-1 in the Soccer Bowl at Toyota Field. Guess what? Alan Marcino was the head coach of that team, too. What would it mean to San Antonio FC to do the same thing tonight at home?
I mean, that'd be incredible. Personally, it's definitely a goal of mine. I want to be winning championships wherever I go, and that was a huge piece why I came here in the beginning, was because this was a club that I had seen and believed in, and the culture, the mentality, and everything about it was a huge reason why I chose to come here. And obviously fell slightly short last season, but no one's forgotten that feeling, and it's definitely something that we're going to fight for every minute to avoid.
Kickoff at Toyota Field is tonight at 7:30 p.m. I will be heading there as soon as this show ends, and we'll have all the highlights and reaction tonight on Instant Replay after the night beat. UTSA is one win away from securing home field advantage in the Conference USA title game. The Roadrunners demolished Louisiana Tech from start to finish in the Alamo Dome yesterday afternoon, 51-7 to clinch a share of the conference title. The win was particularly refreshing after back-to-back weeks of heart-pounding one-possession victories. Usually Frank Harris is the star of the show, leading a dynamic passing attack, but this time it was the running game. Kavorian Barnes carried the ball 11 times for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns, headlining a rushing attack that racked up 258 total yards and 5 touchdowns.
It was exciting, just to see those holes in the O-line, work hard every day, and just for it to finally pay off in the game, it's amazing.
That's just our end of the triangle. As an offense, we got to run the football, and I think we did that today. And then, Brady did a great job, Kavorian did a great job, and even J-Rod. So just testimony to those guys and G-Buck, getting those guys ready throughout the whole week. So we're just happy for those guys, and the O-line gets a lot of credit as well.
The Roadrunners next travel to Rice Saturday at noon. Trinity football is heading to the NCAA Division III playoffs. The Tigers clinched their second straight undefeated regular season yesterday with a convincing 38-0 win over Sewanee in the regular season finale. They're 10-0 overall and conference champs. This year, they'll host a playoff game and face Hardin-Simmons at Tiger Stadium next Saturday. Speaking of playoffs, for the 4th time in the last 6 seasons, the D'Hanis volleyball team will play in the UIL Class 1A state semifinals. They will be the only representative from our area at the state tournament this year. Here is the matchup. They will take on Benjamin on Wednesday at 11 a.m. in Garland.
Everything's going smoothly. I'm just so locked in with my team. Every day, I'm learning new plays. Getting with the coaches, watching film, just doing what I can to just help this team just win and just go out there and play hard as I can every night.
Charles Bassey has been turning heads for the Spurs after an historic night against the Bucks on Friday. He recorded 14 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 4 assists in just 20 minutes off the bench. That's a first in NBA history, and he'll try to help the Spurs win back-to-back games while kicking off a West Coast road trip Monday night in Golden State at 9 p.m.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
The Houston Texans hit the road this afternoon to take on the Giants, and they're down 14-10 in the third quarter when New York finally puts the nail in the coffin. Saquon Barkley scores from 2 yards out to make it 21-10. He rushed 35 times for 152 yards, and Houston falls again 24-16. Meanwhile, our Larry Ramirez is in Green Bay right now watching the Cowboys take on the Packers. Dallas leads 21-14 in the third quarter. We'll have all the highlights and reaction tonight on Instant Replay. And finally, nearly 70,000 fans were on hand for the first ever NFL game in Germany between the Buccaneers and Seahawks this morning. Those fans likely came to see Tom Brady, but they also got to see former UTSA cornerback Tariq Woolen come up with an interception while covering Brady on a trick play. That's Tariq's 5th interception this season, tied for the most this league. Bucks won the game 21-16, but I think UTSA is the real winner here.
Yeah, pretty cool experience.
Awesome.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Alrighty. Yes, the numbers you're seeing on your screen are real numbers. It is going to be chilly all week long. First, we'll start off tomorrow with some light rain in the morning. This is not going to be much, maybe a few hundredths, but enough to be a nuisance for the morning commute. So keep that in mind as you're planning your day tomorrow. 60 degrees for the high, becoming windy Monday into Tuesday. We'll be looking at temperatures mornings in the 30s, upper 30s, and afternoons only in the 50s. To top it all off, another cold front by the weekend.
A+. Thanks for watching.
We'll see you back here tonight.